Karen Stupples. Stups, one of the big stories, of course, the long lines on Friday morning, fans waiting in the parking lot 2-3 hours just to get shuttled over to RTJ. It took the LPGA Commissioner Malik Marcus-Simon to react on Saturday. Here's what she had to say about what went wrong.
It's a complicated question, and again, we were writing spreadsheets and trying to figure it all out. We didn't have enough buses in the morning, clearly. We didn't have, when we started the day. The staggering was to have sort of 3-4 times more during the course of the day, but they were scheduled to start later, and then there was some delays. The exact numbers, I can't tell you at every hour what we had, but let's just suffice it to say there were not enough.
The damage has been done. How concerned are you about what this looks like around the world? You know, negative headlines all around the world when the women's game is desperate for positive exposure.
Yeah, listen, our goal of this week, as you guys know, we've been working really hard to bring in more fans to the sport, bring in more fans to the LPGA. We've worked very hard to do that and to market this event, which is a marquee event. So yeah, it was extremely disappointing that we had any fan that didn't have the perfect experience that we expect. So I think, again, once the fans got here, and they all did get here, or most of them got here, the experience was off the charts. The first tee at noon was hopping, and you know, the players' energy was tremendous. I think the fans, when they got here, they had a great time. Yes, it was disappointing. We're not happy with what happened, and I don't think it's going to have long-term damages to us. We have to make sure our fans know how much we care about them and how much, we whiffed.
Was that like the LPGA operations team? Who exactly is responsible for the planning issues?
Yeah, I don't want to get into exactly who's, the details of the responsibility. At the end of the day, I'm the leader of the organization and I have to own it. We have a tournament team that runs all of this, but, I'm sitting up here in front of you as the leader of the LPGA, and I need to own that.
Karen, you, of course, were on the ground on Friday. How bad was it? How big was this story?
It was pretty huge, and I think that the biggest shock to me was when you turn on the TV or for me being there in person on that first tee was seeing the empty stands, which was something I had not expected to see at all. And my immediate thought was, what in the world has happened? I mean, this is the first tee is this place to be on Friday morning. Everybody wants to be there. You want to hear the songs and the chants and the fun and games between the two sets of fans, and to see empty seats was quite the shock. But obviously, as the morning went on, word got out as to why things were happening the way they were, and then of course you're like, well, crikey, how could things have got this? How did this go out of hand? How did this happen? Because you know how many tickets have been sold, you know how many people are going to try and get there. I think what did come out of the whole week was the volunteers, and everybody was trying to get the same shuttles in, and they were prioritizing volunteers getting into the grounds as opposed to the spectators. And I think that was where the big issue came. There was no separation of the two, and I think as the week went on, that's how things improved. But it was very jarring to see the empty stands.
Karen, there's also the issue, I suppose, of red flags did exist here because there were similar logistical issues last year in Spain, and that's not an LPGA event there. The LET and IMG run it over there, but there were at least warning signs that there had been logistical issues just a year ago. And our colleague Beth Ann Nichols wrote a very strong column about questioning whether or not the LPGA Tour is ready for prime time. Do you agree with Beth Ann's sentiment that it's time for some really hard questions to be asked at LPGA Tour headquarters, and how they can mishandle an event that was otherwise a terrific week for the LPGA Tour and women's golf?
Well, I think for the most part, the LPGA doesn't run those other massive events. You think of the R&A running the AIG Women's Open, you've got the PGA of America running the KPMG Women's PGA, you've got the USGA running the US Women's Open, all of which have quite a huge influx of fans and spectators, and they all know how to run big events. This is a big, huge, sharp learning curve for the LPGA Tour. And unfortunately, it's kind of hit them very fast with what happened this week. They will definitely grow and learn from this. I feel really bad for everybody that was waiting in those lines. I mean, that had to be dreadful. I mean, little young kids that were going for the first time, waiting, being disappointed they weren't going to be at the first tee. Those are pretty hard stories to hear. And you could hear Molly really being quite regretful about how things had happened and how that had been let down. For sure, they will learn and grow from this. I don't remember these incidences happening at Inverness a few years ago when the last time America hosted it. But then, of course, that was COVID, so there wasn't going to be so many people going and doing it. So this is the first really big test that the LPGA have had. And I want to say that it's very bad form that they didn't realise that this was going to be a thing, but I also know that they will learn and grow from it.
Before we let you go, Karen, we're unlikely to see either Stacey Lewis or Suzanne Pedersen in the captain's seat next time around. Who are your predictions for the captains on either side?
I think for the American side, I think Angela Stanford will be the next in line, closely followed by Morgan Pressel. I think those two have now a track record of being an assistant captain, and I think it's actually crucial to have been in that role so you understand all the working that goes on behind the scenes of how everything happens during the week, how you put your pairings together, the timing of things. As a player, you don't really see that. You're so focused on your game. So you can't just go from being a player to going into that leadership captaincy role. So I think it's going to be Angela Stanford and then closely followed by Morgan Pressel. And then from the European side, I think it's got to be Anna Norquist. Now, I know everybody's going to say, but what if she plays? I don't know. In 2 years' time, a lot can happen in 2 years. And I think Anna actually would quite relish the role of being a captain rather than having to put her game on the line and be a player. I think she would like that captaincy role. And I think there's a whole bunch of influx of new European talent that's going to be coming up, waiting to take those spots and those places. I mean, you want young, fresh legs on that golf course that if you have to rely on them going 5 matches, you can.
So much for the captains to juggle, from dealing with the media, of course, to putting the matchups together. Karen, great to see you last week at RTJ and great to spend time with you today. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's been fantastic. Loved every second of it, guys. Thank you.